Hey guys, welcome back to part 3 of working on the hopper floor here on the R72. Well, let me show you right quick. I'm not too sure how well you can see through there, but well, you can kind of see them. Those two bolt heads, I've got to take them two bolts out in order to get that floor auger out of there. And what I thought I was going to have to actually take and separate this elbow, but I talked to my Gleaner dealer, and he said no, I should be able to either go through this access door, or there's another one kind of right behind here to get them out of there. And so we'll see what happens. I gotta get the corn, I gotta get this door here taken off and get that corn poured out of that elbow. Got my 5-gallon bucket. Get that last little flange nut off there. We'll pop that little cover off. See what happens. Sheesh. Dusty enough. That's why I've got a, well, you can't see it, but I've got a squirrel cage fan running over here. And that keeps the dust all blowed down. That cleaned out pretty good. Alright, that's got it. Of course, it's all nice and dry in there, so that helps. Alright, now I got the corn all out of there. Move my step ladder. Yeah, there we go. You can see them two bolt heads. That lets me bring my ratchet with an extension up underneath here and work on getting those popped out. Alright, I got a 3/4 socket here on this extension. I'm just feeding it up through there. Maybe I can try and stick in some inside somewhere that we can see better. But I just put it on that first bolt right there. Sure enough, I can turn the thing by hand. It's not even tight. That must be a lock nut on there, is the only thing I can guess. But yeah, you'd think that thing would be pinched down good and tight. But I'll try to see if I can put the camera inside the auger tube. Alright, I got you up inside the auger tube. I've got a 3/4 inch up here on the top end of the bolt, and I'm going to try and run this extension here up, and there we go. Now if it'll stick there, we can try and get that loosened up and spun off there. Not too bad, coming off pretty good. Yeah, there we go. Now there's not much room, but this is a whole lot easier. My wrench is about ready to fall off. This is a whole lot easier than having to take and split this elbow into. Okay, now I got that lock nut loosened up far enough. I think I can take and spin it the rest of the way off by hand. Yeah, there we go. Pop right off. Got a little wear onto it from all the grain. Get that wrench out of there. Oh, there goes my light. Okay, got that shoved through. If you can get your... Alrighty, there's the bolt. And there is also... okay, I can see it. You can see right there, right around the top of the bolt, there's a bushing. You gotta get dug out of there also. I'm actually gonna take and turn the auger. I can't turn the auger when the camera's sitting in there. I can feel that bushing up on top right there, so we're good to go. Okay, I'll see if I can kind of stick the camera in right there a little bit. Hopefully you can see halfway decent. Right here, if I can get that thing worked out there, I can spin it. It's got grease and dirt holding it. But that, come on, is that bushing. Thought maybe I could get it popped down out of there with my pinky, but it didn't want to budge. Well, I get a screwdriver. Okay, I grabbed the 1/2-inch bolt and just stuck into that bushing, thinking if I just went and shoved sideways, like jam it in sideways, I might be able to pop it down out of there, but I can wiggle it back and forth. However, as I look at that, I think it looks almost like a ball joint. It'll swivel, but I'm not getting. I can't get to pop out of that tube. If that's the case, perfect. Leave it right where it's at. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get that second bolt out of there. I got that last bolt out. Put the little door back on. Put the auger back, and I actually moved the combine over to the south. That way now I have room to work over here on the north side. Go ahead and get this panel popped up. There we go. Okay, here's the other end of the auger. You got this sprocket, and one good thing, it looks like that's actually been off there before, so maybe somebody at one point in time put a new bearing back there. But I'm gonna get my tools brought over and get set up, and we'll get started taking that piece there off. Alright, I went ahead and took that chain off. It's just, that looks like a number 60 chain. So, didn't show that. I mean, pretty self-explanatory taking a chain off. But, got these square head set screws. Yeah, there we go. The best thing to do to get them square heads to come loose is to use a square head socket. And if you look in there, if I can get to focus, you can see how the pattern of the teeth, there we go, is made to go over a square head. Then this had Loctite put on them. I can see it kicking out there. I can see, I'm almost positive. Yeah, I can see never sees in there. So I'm guessing somebody's replaced this bearing down here on the end, which is a good thing. It means that sprocket will pop off easily. All right, there's one. We'll go ahead and get the other one out here. With them set screws off, it's got either a square key or a half moon woodruff key in it, but I can get a little bit of wiggle out of that and probably work it by hand to get down off there. May get a pry bar, just help it go faster. But that's the nice thing with never sees, and I'll be putting never sees back onto it when I go to put it back in too. Okay, I was trying to wiggle that off by hand. The thing is, this just has a bunch of dirt and crud, and so it doesn't want to come out very well. Grab my gear puller. Hopefully you can see that halfway decent, not too much of a glare with the lights. Use the impact. Yeah, it's got enough dirt inside the thing. At least it is moving though. Looks like we're about off there. Yep, there we go. Well, I thought. Oh, no wonder why the battery on my impact's going down too. That don't help matters none. There we go. All right, that's got him pulled off there. Yeah, you can see the old never sees, but it just had dirt crud in there. But the bearing, it looks like somebody's put a new bearing inside that block. And so, however, now what I got to do is take this ring of bolts here out. And there's probably going to be some, yeah, running underneath here. And this brace piece here has got to come off to let this here move. But this piece here will come off, and then that's how I'll take the auger out. Take this cover off, and then probably, well, the auger's probably not going to pull straight out. You have to take and screw it out, because it's not a real big opening, but you can. The Gleaner guy told me you can take and pull it out and unscrew it basically to get it out of there. Okay, there's a little square keyway. That looks good. So next thing is to take this brace piece here off. Got 3 bolts up here, which is part of the circle piece, and looks like 2 back here. And then I'll probably have to take and separate off this drive line right here, unless I can actually take and pivot the thing up. If I can make it pivot up on that drive shaft, fine, no big deal. All right, I just got done unhooking this module and this wiring harness. This is part of the yield monitor, ag leader. And so it was bolted on back here because this was actually added to the combine. And so now I've got to get, looks like that ground wire, which I actually just take and cut that. They put this little dinky light on the thing that way I guess you could see at nighttime. Let me tell you something, you'd be better off going and buying a flashlight from either Dollar Tree, Dollar General. Some little 2-cent flashlight would work better than these things do. That type of light is junk. And so now I've got to get, looks like a little 3/8 maybe, take that little self tapper out and unhook that wire. Then this here is part of that frame. Okay, got these, there we go. 2 bolts here on the clean grain elevator. Take them loose. Got a flat and a lock washer, and hopefully that stud doesn't try and push in. That'd be bad. I'm not sure how you get it rehooked. Okay, one thing I did forget about, I got these 2 here taken apart, loosened up. Sure enough, this frame, this push rod or ram is what holds up the side, and so I'm going to have to use the forklift to, well, I'll throw a pallet onto it, kind of widen it out more, come up underneath here and hold the side up while I'm working underneath there, because I'm going to have to take and disconnect this push rod right here. That way I can take and hopefully rotate this. We'll wait and see how that works. I got the forklift warming up, so while it's sitting over there warming up, I'm going to go ahead and start taking this stuff here out. Oh, I need a deep well. But you got these bolts here you got to pop out. It's all part of this end cap here on the hopper. There we go. These are all carriage bolts. So I'll take all the hardware here off the bottom. That was already loose. Oh, that's a double. And then once I get all the lock washers and stuff taken off, I'll push the bolt through inside the hopper, then jump inside and pick up all the bolts and put them into my coffee can. Alright, got them out. Like I said, I just pushed the bolts right through, so now they're laying in the bottom of the hopper. I'll get them out. Same thing over on the other side here. You got 4 bolts. Take them out. Now that right there, that is what this quick latch hooks to, and so that's no big deal. Get them out, and then I've got to take this flange apart and get that lock collar knocked out. And I think that bearing's been replaced. It looks like it, especially since that had, like I say, that had never seized on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these bolts here out, then I'll bring you back in when I get to work on this. Got the rest of them bolts out. That was up underneath this flange piece. So now let's take and pop this keyway out. That actually looks like a big Woodruff key. Yeah, it is. Huh. Okay, put that in my coffee can. There we go. And now we need a 9/16 to start pulling these flange bolts here out. Got my 9/16. There we go. Get that loosened up. Kind of an odd looking flange. It's like it's got an outer, in fact you can see like a little split line right there, so it's like it's got an outer and inner half. A little different than most flanges. Generally your triangle shaped, or even just the rigged around ones, it's just 2 halves sandwiched together, whereas this one right here has got an outer, oh, like 90% part ring, then inside like a little 10% ring. So hey, it gets the job done. That's what counts, I guess. Now I grab my hammer and punch and knock that lock collar. Get that thing knocked loose. Okay, that's got that opening up. May want to go ahead and take that lock collar off, however. Okay, let's get this thing knocked loose. There we go. There we are. So full of dirt and dust. And that's got it off of the pinch ring of the bearing itself, off that flange or that shoulder. So that should come right out of there. Like that, in theory. Okay, I stuck this pry bar in there. Okay, that's bringing the whole entire auger shaft my way because I have it disconnected on the other side. Huh. I would have thought that part of that flange would have popped off that bearing by now. And I'm not too sure, that bearing's not going to slide off there. Probably going to have to get the old torch out and whack it off. Okay, there's the inner part of the flange. I can see the back of the bearing right down in there. And it looks like the outer piece of flange is just sitting on there. It should pop off. Well, wait and see. Alright, well, I'm going to have to grab the old torch, cut that bearing out. I did find a bearing number. It's a fastener bearing. And it does have the extended race right there at the end of my finger. And so I'll give my local Napa a call and see if they should be able to take and cross that number. I just snapped a picture of it on my phone. And I'm gonna grab the torch. We'll get that cut out of there. It'll let this piece come out. And once you get that race and these flanges all out of here, then we can go to work, finish up taking this piece here out and off, and then the auger is ready to come out the end. Well, we'll get the old smoke wrench fired up. Maybe. There we go. Okay, heating that up allowed me to get that outer flange knocked off. There we go. There we got it. Gonna be just a little bit warm. We'll take and drop it there on the ground. However, this is not the first time this has been cut off, because I can see this back flange was all black before I even started cutting. So somebody's cut the previous bearing out also. No surprise, that's usually how you had to take them off. Okay, well now that's got that flange out of the way, I can whack that outer shell of the bearing off nice and quick. There we go. Get the old smoke wrench fired up. And there we go. Fortunately, the inside of the combine, at least I've already got that all vacuumed out, so it's all nice and clean. At least that went under the machine, not in it. And there went that. Okay, now we got that off. Now we can go ahead and get the other piece of flange out. There we go, a little bit warm. Throw him on the ground too. Alrighty, and then that inner race piece, I can cut that off the auger once I get that out of the machine. No big deal there. Alrighty, I went ahead and loosened all these here up. I thought these were carriage bolts, but they sure didn't act like it. Go ahead and push them inside. That one's kind of stuck. Okay, I got these here loosened up, but I can't do anything until I get the forklift brought over here to hold the side panel up. Okay, well that'll hold the side up until I can get that push rod disconnected, then just use the forklift to hold up the panel. There we go. Okay, that'll sit there just like that and out of the way. There we go. Okay, there's the inside shroud. All right, those 3 flange bolts are welded. Good. There's the rest of my hardware. And that auger will come right out of there this way. Well, that's simple enough. No big deal there. Okay, there's all those goodies. I can tell you one thing, that thing's got some weight to it, more than what it looks like. There we go. I have to do a little finagling around. Sure enough, to pull that auger out, I need to have the forklift with a pallet sitting right out here, here beyond the dual. That way I can just jump up in the hopper, begin to push the auger out onto the pallet, and so grab an 8-foot step ladder through underneath this panel. So the step ladder is holding up the panel, and I don't want to use that pallet. I got a different one. I'm going to grab it and I'll get the forklift set up here, and then we'll be ready to take and shove that auger out onto the pallet. I got you sitting up here on top of my light stand. I'm going to jump in the hopper and start shoving that auger out. And once I get it out so far, I should be able to get it more onto this pallet, more or less. We'll wait and see. Okay, that's got him pulled out of the hopper. Definitely opens it up in there, that way that can work. Not exactly the lightest, I can tell you that much. Of course, you got that big old middle tube. Yeah, there we are. Alright guys, well, I'm going to call this an end to part 3. Got the auger sitting down here on the floor, and there's nothing wrong with it. Before I go to put it back in, I'll take the torch and whack that inner ace off. And so, next deal will be probably working on there, getting the floor ready inside. We'll wait and see what happens. So, take care. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time.